Welcome to Nani Talks, the only anime podcast from the man them. I'm your host, TC Division.
The Quantum One.
Slick.
Tim. Wes.
Tim and Wes, recently, we've seen that you've got a few good projects coming out, but I want to hear more about Grand Piton right now.
So the Mighty Grand Piton is like an idea I came up with just during a commercial project, actually. Had lots of like mechs and robots, and I was like, sometimes in between projects on the calls and stuff, sometimes I'll be sketching and, you know, just forming my ideas sometimes when there's a little bit of downtime. And I started sketching a kid and I just drew like a mech, and then I gave it the colors of the St. Lucian flag, and I was like, you know, just messing around, and then gave it some headphones, and I had like a little kid under it, and I was like, oh, this is, what could I call him? I'm like, oh, Pitons, because it's like, you know, famous landmark in St. Lucia. So I thought, I call him the Grand Piton. So that's like the third mountain, if you like. Then made the name long, because I like to make titles like long. It occurred to me that, you know what, actually, this would make a really like cool project, because I've always wanted to do something. So for those that don't know, like my family's from St. Lucia, and I always wanted to do a project based in St. Lucia, but it was always going to be something that's a little bit more like of a social commentary, like maybe talking about political issues, or, you know, the kind of film that you would get from that sort of region.
Right.
And it never occurred to me that it could be like a fantasy superhero thing. And then I think that was like my in for doing it. It like, there was like a switch. I'm like, well, why not St. Lucia? And I posted the picture on Instagram and put, oh, this is Grand Piton, and you can only communicate in patois. And, you know.
There was another caption though, you said like.
Caribbean. Yeah, hashtag Caribbeans like robots too. So that was like my thing. But it took about a year before we actually started making it, like, because I was still working on this other project. And there was a technique that we were using on this project, and it was like animating mechs, but doing it in 2D first, and then kind of using like 3D to kind of block the characters out, because people don't like drawing robots, and it takes a very long time.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to exploit that technique further. And that's when we started kind of working on that short. So went online, did well. And since then we've been like first we've been trying to develop it into a series, but more recently, like a movie. So I'm still writing for it at the moment and stuff.
So that is what's next for the Mighty Grand Piton, a movie.
That is the plan. But I'm also like, I've got a couple of other things I might want to do on the way to the movie, because I think one of the things is like, and again, this is a learning for us, where I suppose we didn't spend a lot of time. So all the shorts that we've made together, we make a short, put it out, then, I don't know, I guess a commercial company will see it online, and it's like, oh, we want you to make something for us. And then we go off and make that thing.
Right.
But what we're learning is that maybe what we should have done was build up these kind of, I guess, IPs or properties in the background. You know what I mean? So that when it is time to make a movie, like we were talking about Corey Kenshin, where he's kind of built up an audience of something.
Yeah.
So when it was time for him to make his thing, it was very easy for him to go straight to his like consumer, and then prove to the powers that be, like, people that want this. Well, people want this, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I think, again, that project is like one of those, I think Ninja Rabbit is one of the projects that speaks to the child in me.
Yeah.
And Piton speaks to my culture. And I think it's probably going to be one of the most important things I do in my life, is to get that project done.
Solid.
Yeah,
So,
I think that's a really cool one, because I don't know if I can speak for the rest of the team, but I know when I saw it, I automatically thought Iron Giant.
Yeah.
But at the same time, being from St. Lucian descent myself, it was like, if I could have grown up watching a St. Lucian Iron Giant,
Yeah.
I'd be like, whoa,
So
you know what I mean?
nice.
That means a lot.
So nice.
Yeah, all the Iron Giant, Gurren Lagann's a massive inspiration.
Yeah.
Big O, even the Stanley one, Hero Man.
Yes, Hero Man was really good.
Yeah. So, like I drew a lot of inspiration from that. So I think it's like, you know, it's something that I really want, like I said, I really want to get it made. And I think it's something that's like, it's just really important to me and I can't get it out of my head. It's something that I need to kind of resolve one way or another, do you know what I mean? So, yeah.
How do you... That's a passion project for you. So how does that translate? How do you then get the whole company behind that?
I think the company's behind it, but again, it's like, and jump into him if I'm, I think it's us figuring out how to, because like Tim was saying before, it's like you build your kind of revenue, I guess, from commercials and stuff, and that's what keeps the company going. But to kind of, transition from shorts and commercials to like a bigger project, we need to kind of figure out, I guess, how to kind of crack it. And it's not like an easy thing to crack. It's like, all right, we said before, like, we want to work 6 months on, 6 months off. But how do you do that realistically? And it's about trying to find a way to do that with proper succession planning, etc. But that's like, these are things we're learning after the fact, you know what I mean? I know like a lot of people might look at us and, and I think we've created a good brand and I think we do really good work and stuff. But there's stuff that we're figuring out. It's not like, we can tell you, it's like Steve Jobs said, like, I can connect the dots looking back. I can't, it's hard to connect it going forward, you know what I mean? So,
I think the thing is with all that, it's like, it shouldn't, you should just be doing the thing that you think you want to be doing and what you think is people are going to respond to. And if you're going to back yourself, say we make Piton and to me, like, it's an impossibility that we'd make that and people wouldn't love it.
I agree.
It's just an impossibility. Like I was going back to like the risk associated with starting the company. I feel that passionately about that project that like, I don't care like what anyone thinks. I know that project is going to be huge once it's released. 100%. Mm-hmm. It's just irrefutable. Now, it's difficult. There might be people in companies, streaming platforms that would agree, but it's just not what they're looking for or whatever. But I think we can have that belief as a company, but at the moment we're not in a position to completely self-fund it. You're talking about like funding a feature film, like multi millions of pounds to do it. And we're now finding ourselves in a position where like, when we made shorts but without the company, we were doing it off our own backs in our spare time, which is fine. We worked 6 months. That kind of gave us enough to kind of do stuff. And then we started a company to like, so that we could be paid 100% of the year and then also make shorts. But now the shape of our company does not support doing features on our own. Our plan was we have a company that can fund the initial ideas, and then we have a division in the company which James runs, who you guys met when you visited. And James and Lisa, who is part of the entertainment division, they go and sell it.
Right.
And they try and get it funded through the traditional route. It's just that is a very slow process. Yeah. And it can be painful. And when you're just ready to go and you believe in yourself, like, it's tough to.
So I have another question then. So right now, I remember you guys said earlier that you have the infrastructure to make a short. Like, I think you guys have gone up to like 9 minutes up by yourself, right? Or maybe even a little bit longer.
9 minutes was, I think, everything I can see from here.
Yeah.
Am I pronouncing that right?
Yeah, you are, Tim.
I love it. But that was the very first thing that we did, and it was like completely off our, like, when I say off our own back, like we all animated a shot on it, but 90% of that film was done by Bjorn and Sam over 2 years.
Right.
So like, yes, that's true, but it's, since the company, the longest thing we've ever made is like no more than 2 minutes. Okay. Right?
Including Song Machine?
No. Oh, sorry. I mean, funded.
Okay. All right.
Like maybe the longest thing is Heavenly Vessel, maybe, or
yeah.
So then
that's about 3 minutes. So.
I think it's like a minute and a half or 2 minutes or something.
Okay.
So would you guys then, in an ideal situation, is it that the Mighty Grand Piton, like for the movie, would you guys have to bring on a set of animators underneath the line, like maybe they're not in-house? Or would you guys get another studio to come in and help with it? And in an ideal situation, if it is another studio, what studio?
The thing is, I personally would love it to be made completely in the UK. I think there's talent here.
Okay.
It's a real, for me, it'd be a real statement to be like, this is a UK creator, or it's about your culture of St. Lucia, but you guys are St. Lucian, you're all born in the UK, am I right? Like, that is British culture, do you know what I mean? And to produce that with talent from where it's come from, I think would be such a statement. The outsourcing thing of it gets boring because it comes into the reason why you do it is for like tax credits.
Okay.
So like in France, they have better tax breaks than in the UK, and like you can leverage our tax credits for this part and tax credit, and it's like it's the business side of thing that is not sexy, but unfortunately is like how stuff gets made. That we will probably have to do it that way, and that's kind of like what James and Lisa are kind of exploring, and that means that like you will probably more likely to get funded and maybe you can get funded from Europe because there's access to certain pots, and then you can explore those tax credits in France and Belgium and all. And it's like, I think it's not, the purist in me just wants to be like, we do it here, we can do it, we've got all the talent, like that's, we're a British studio, like let's just do it. Like, but I think the reality is not that. In terms of like who to partner with, I guess that's the Wes question.
I do want to know what
that on me for.
I do want to know what that
your
smile
project.
meant. That smile had a name in mind.
There's a few. There's some French studios. I would say, thinking about it, I think like Bobby Pills would be a good one.
And what is Bobby Pills famously known for?
They did
Captain Laserhawk.
Captain Laserhawk. They did one I read, Last Man. They did that. Did they do Last Man, Bobby Pills? I'm sure they did.
I think so, yeah.
On Netflix.
Yeah. When I think about Japanese studios, Trigger. I don't know.
You're worse than Corey Kenshin.
Mappa. I don't know. I would definitely say Trigger's one of them. Like, definitely.
Not Affordable?
Huh?
Not Affordable?
Possibly. I haven't really thought about it that hard, to be honest. I think like Flying Bark is a good one. They're in Australia. So they did the Ninja Turtles series.
Okay.
The new one. So they're a good one as well. So
the new, even along with the new movie.
Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Okay.
It's kind of like,
when they're young, innit? They're always young, but I mean, when the new rollout, they're perceived as like a lot more teenager.
No, not that one. You're talking about the movie, the 3D movie with Ice Cube.
I know they've done a movie and then they released a series, but they still look just like the movie.
Not that
it's
one.
The one before that. Rise.
It's called Rise of the Teenage. So it's like, it's almost got a bit of a, not Samurai Jack, but Star Wars Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Right. It's got that kind of style, but it's very anime. Like it's insane. Like I was, when you watch something and it's like, it's so good, it depresses you.
Because you ain't got nothing that good to match up after.
Do you know what I mean? It's that good to me. And I think a lot of people kind of passed on it because of what it looks like. Whereas actually, I think it looks great. And I think the animation style and everything is like, it's fresh. It's really nice. But yeah, I guess it's like, it would be like a Japanese studio or like a French studio.
Is the art style staying the same?
I'm evolving it.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think the art style with Grand Piton, originally some people say they don't feel that it looks like that, which I'm kind of glad, but I was kind of like, I had my Ghibli hat on. But I think since then, like...
I think what you said about Gurren Lagann, I can really see the influence from Gurren Lagann in it.
Yeah, it's definitely in there. Like those things are in there, but I think like with the backgrounds, because I really wanted to capture St. Lucia in a very specific way, and I just wanted to I wanted people to watch it
and stuff like
so if anyone had been there, they'd be like, one of the things that I'm really happy about was that anyone who's been to the Caribbean, especially St. Lucia, they recognize things in there. Oh, that's like my grandma's porch. That's like this, that's like that. So, but I want to kind of take that a bit further in that I'm a big fan of like Studio 4C, especially Tech on Concrete. And there's an artist.
That's a phenomenal.
Yeah.
That was a phenomenal movie.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Like, and the art director, Shinji Kimura, he's like one of my, I think I reference him on every single project I do. And I think I love the way he captures an environment. So I think with Tech on Concrete, because me and Tim went to Japan in like 2012, 2013.
13, I think.
And one of the things we noticed is like...
Late 13, I think.
Yeah. It was not like October. But he's created this town called Treasure Town, and he did it so accurately. He even mapped it out so that anywhere you're in the film, if there's like a, let's say there's like a, you know, a skyscraper in this direction, it would match on the map. I mean, that's going way too far in my head. But one of the things I like about the film is that they capture the essence of the environment. The environment is almost like a character in itself. Mm-hmm. And when we went there, I'm like, this feels like, some of the places we went, it feels like Treasure Town. You know what I mean?
Tokyo.
In Tokyo
mm-hmm.
and whatever. So that's really important to me, for me to be able to capture the feel. But I want to evolve it. I want it to be like its own thing. I don't want it to be like a... I found that, for instance, you know, with the Spider-Verse movie, since that's come out, I think a lot of people are... It's almost become the blueprint of how you represent Black characters in animation. And I'm not saying... I love the style. I think it's amazing. But I feel like I want to see where else I can go with that. I'm not saying I'll crack it, but it's definitely in my head, like... I want to, like, I know how Japanese characters move in anime. I know how Americans move in animation. How do Caribbeans move in animation? Like, really? How is it that they laugh? How is it that what kind of, you know, like when your mum's laughing or your dad and you know what I mean? Like, there's a feel to the movement that I really want to try and get, which I don't think I had enough time to get in Piton. I think I was following maybe patterns that are more recognizable, but I really want to like study the people and get that in there. Like, and I think that's happening a lot now in animation, like with K-pop Demon Hunters, where it's like, even what's the other one, Turning Red, where the way the characters move and speak, they feel Chinese or Korean and stuff. That's what I want to do with this. How to do it, I don't know. I'm going to have to get some really good animators. But
no, I hope you do it, bro, because I think what you said is key, and what we're trying to do within Naniverse as well is that we want to see these projects elevate the culture in a space where it's like, because as you said, it's essentially we're in a space where we are imagining something that we haven't been privy to.
Yes.
And I think that's what's important about the Mighty Grand Piton and other projects that are coming through right now.
But I also... To that point, I also don't want to do it cynically, because I think a lot of things sometimes where it's like, where people are trying to do representation for representation's sake, as opposed to, so when you watch anime, they don't say, oh, we're trying to represent the culture. They just do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So...
You mean like Japanese culture?
Yeah, Japanese culture.
They're Japanese, so they represent...
Yes, but they're not like... Do you know what I mean? They're just doing...
100%.
They're just being
100%,
them. And I feel like... So sometimes when people say to me, like, you know, oh, Piton is so diverse, I'm like, in my head, I'm like, no, it's diverse to you. To me, I grew up with this. I grew up listening to Bouillon music. I grew up listening to soca. So to you who haven't heard it before, this is diverse and it's different. But there must have been a point when Japanese anime came out, it was different to everyone. It was like diverse. And now it's like, it's part of the culture. Do you know what I mean?
But that's what's interesting. I think what we forget is that, like, learning about other cultures is fascinating, you know what I mean? And so, like, when you just got things copying itself, you're kind of like, you're creating kind of something like absent of culture. And like, I think even, you know, the idea of like anime, or people say, oh, we do anime. We don't, you know, like, I don't think Piton's obviously inspired by anime. It's not anime, you know what I mean? Like, in terms of like, it's not Japanese. It's not about a Japanese subject. Again, it's inspired by it.
Well, it has a giant mech. So.
But
genre-wise, I suppose.
But they didn't, I mean, the Japanese didn't invent giant robots or whatever. Like, it's, what's important is just someone going, I want to see something that I find interesting about me and my family or my community or whatever, and telling that story, you know what I mean? And that's what's going to appeal to people. Not that like, it's not like, I don't think Wes ever thought like, you tell me if I'm wrong, like, I think St. Lucia needs to be on the map. So I'm going to come up with an idea to represent St. Lucia and get some, you know, like, it's not that, you know what I mean? Wes is St. Lucian. He goes there regularly. His parents live there. It's like, it would make sense for me that someone like Wes would come up with an idea like that, you know, something about St. Lucia and his family and his inspirations from an animation point of view. Like, I agree, like, you can't approach any of that cynically. And I think when you do, it's kind of what, I hate to gun people, but I feel like it's what kind of streaming platforms are doing at the moment, where they're like, they are approaching things cynically, you know what I mean? Like, and just to kind of get representation, or like when you see like, you're scrolling through and it's like, comedy, late night thing, Black Lives Matter. It's like, Black Lives Matter isn't a genre. What are you talking about? Like, it's like, it's fucking,
totally
it's
agree.
Disgusting actually when you see it. Like,
I think though that it's like, for me, seeing, and I think that a lot of your viewers or fans will appreciate just the fact that with the Mighty Grand Piton, not only are you covering representation, but you're taking the time and the effort and the energy to properly create, like what you said about the movement and stuff like that. Like, I didn't even know that you was addressing it from that standpoint. Like, but to know that that's something that's important to you, I think it's just made it even more intentional for me.
Keeps it more authentic as well.
Yeah, it makes it so much more authentic, because even, I mean, seeing are we calling that a trailer?
Yeah.
Seeing the trailer as a St. Lucian, I can't even say you didn't do that. But for you, you're like, I can go deeper.
Yeah.
And I love that. Like, that's really cool. That's like, wow, okay, cool. So there is a next level that we can go deeper into the culture, and you've already uncovered it.
Oh, like, they definitely. And I think like and this is what I like about doing the commercial work, because you get to, again, because it forces like a limitation on you. There's certain things of like, I think Izzo, Azuki, Monsters We Make, I would say that because of like resource-wise and maybe the limitations in terms of like time or whatever it is, and that you have to kind of develop a style that will work within it, but it has to be appealing as well. And I'm like, I can put some of that into Piton. Do you know what I mean? Right. And I think that's what I'm quite excited about. So I think it will feel, hopefully, it will feel fresher to people, and they'll look at it and they'll be like, oh, this is evolved. Like, this was the trailer and it was great, but like the line have stepped this up.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think not just me, but a combination of everyone in the studio. Like, I'm not just learning from myself, I'm learning from Tim, I'm learning from the other directors. You know, the last thing that we did, like the Hades trailer, I think is probably, it might be one of my favorite things that's come out the studio.
It's really cool. Like, the start with around the cauldron and the movement of that animation.
It's just stylistically,
cool,
it's fresh. And Louvre was very, like, they were very kind of strict on the parameters of, you know, so things like not having focus pulls or lenses in it and keeping things quite flat. It's like, you sure you want to do that? It's like, yeah, I absolutely want to do that. And I think they stuck to their vision, and I think it looks incredible. And I'm not saying Piton will look like that, but I'm saying there's little techniques in it that I'm like, oh, I might try that. Or there's things that Tim and Max have done in Gorillaz. I'm like, I want to try that. Or Bjorn's done this in Chobani. So there's things that I'm picking up from people on different projects, and it can be applied to this one. So it's really exciting.
Okay.
I just want to say, because you mentioned that Gorillaz video, but so Tim, you had a part to play on that Gorillaz video, yeah?
Yeah, there's we did the original. The first one we did was Humility, and then we did I think we did 9 for Song Machine album.
Yeah, Humility to me, obviously, after looking at a bunch of different Gorillaz videos, and I know that there will be different like animation studios that will get involved on their projects, but for me, that video that you guys done, I'm not just saying it either, but I thought it was the cleanest version of the Gorillaz that has been out, to be fair.
Wow,
like,
thank you.
Regardless of what song that's been playing, but the animation style that you guys actually chose to portray for them, I was like, this is really clean. Like, even the perspective to where it's real life people are moving, but then you're seeing like animation. Like I see there's a scene where they're playing chess against the animation, but it's real life person. But it just seemed normal, but it was so out of place at the same time. But man, it was really good. It was really
thanks,
clean.
man.
Are you guys, and as well, they've just released that they've got the new album coming out. Here we go. That's
Yeah,
okay. All right.
But I think I just want to say one thing about what I love about the Gorillaz, like Humility. It's not just the project itself, but Tim has been was a massive Jamie Hewlett fan from young.
Right.
So I'm talking like Tank Girl and all that kind of stuff as well. So for us and when we were coming up, we saw like Clint Eastwood and all this kind of stuff, but like, and going to Passion Pictures and meeting, Robert Valley and, and these guys worked on Gorillaz, and it was like because again, it was one of those things that before it, there wasn't like a music animation band sort of thing. So for us to land that, not only for us to land that project, but for him to be directing it, it's like, again, you would never dream. When we was in uni, you would never think in like how many years that you'd be working with Jamie Hewlett. Like,
No, never.
Stuff.
It was like,
I think that's quite surreal.
It was wild, man. Like he's like one of my genuine art heroes. It'd be, to me, I know it sounds like a big leap, but it's like as weird as working with like Miyazaki or something. You know what I mean? Like that's how much I've obsessed about his art since I was a kid. So to work with him is crazy. And like, I remember I wanted to work at Passion because Passion Pictures did all the videos before, all the incredible, like they were directed by a guy called Pete Gandelan. He did all the, I think up until Plastic Beach, I think it was, or maybe they did maybe Pete did Saturn Bars, the last one. But anyway, all the great work up until that. I wanted to work at Passion Pictures, and I remember Christian was working there, who was mentioned, he was on the course before us, and I said, look, can you just get me a job as a runner there or something? And he managed to get me a job as a runner there, and I was like so happy, and I was like on the server trying to like find all the files. I got fired after one day there as a runner. And then 5 years later, I'm like directing a Gorillaz music video.
Amazing.
But the thing is, when we got the video and it came out, I don't know if I should stop. He put on his Instagram, he was like, he's standing outside Passion Pictures, right? And he's like, 5 years I was fired from this place, and look who's running things now.
Yeah, I got fired from being a runner, and look who's running things now.
I was cracking up when I saw that.
Tim's like, I'm the plug now, I'm the captain.
That's like that number one petty boy. Like, but I'm there for it. I'm here for it, man.
It was a nice full circle moment for me, I can't lie.
Of course.
But no, I appreciate that, man. Like, and
but by the way, we get on with Passion. By the way, like, we
for real.
Stuff.
The thing you're talking about, the cleanness of it, that actually really comes from Hewlett. Like, I remember we turned in the first bit of animation, cleaned up animation to him of Noodle, and I think it was that scene you're talking about where they're playing chess, and I think it was a close up of Noodle as she sort of reacts to like a chess move she's played, and we turned it in really proud, and he was like, no, this is not right. And he like pointed it all out, and like we redid that cleanup about 5 times.
Which is insane in a production, by the way. Like you don't clean something up 5 times.
No.
Because you won't get the stuff the work
and it was
done.
like, it had to look, he was like, it has to look like I drew it. And actually when we did like a comparison after the project was all said and done, and we looked at the original, and we looked at the first version and the last version, and I was like, oh my God, it's embarrassing, the thing that we turned in. And that standard of cleanup that we did on that project has seen us through on every project since.
Yes.
Wow. Just for the audience as well, like, what does a cleanup actually entail?
So cleanup is your final artwork on your animation. So you do there's a few steps to animation. There's your rough pass, which can be like anything from stickmen to scribbles. Some people like to work a little bit on model, which means like the character design. But some people can do stuff where it's just like crosshairs and for faces and things. Your next stage is your tie down, which is where you're taking your animation and you're putting it on model. So at that point, it should look like Noodle, but just not cleaned up. The next stage is clean up, so you artwork it to the final style. In that case, it was like a thick and thin ink kind of line. And that should be the thing that you then colour and composite.
So when you say clean up, is it the line art that you had to clean up or the colour and composite?
The line art.
Okay. And that obviously transpires over a 3-minute music video, let's say.
Yeah, we quoted for 10 drawings a day of cleanup from an artist. We were doing 4 or 5 in reality. Wow. Because of the level of detail. So it was like we wildly underscoped that project.
Wow.
Because we'd never worked with Jamie before and his standards were super high. And it was really painful. I like when I hear that song, I love the song. When I first heard it, I was like, man, it's such a cool song. We're doing the music video for this song I love. And I hear it now, I'm like, ugh. I have
imagine PTSD.
Yeah, mate, trust me, the PTSD is so real on that. But it's difficult to say it was worth it, but it saw us. Had we not done that project, I think our finishing on cleanup would be really different.
Yeah.
It's really affected us. So when we came to doing Song Machine, we quoted it right. We knew exactly what the standard was, and we didn't have really any problems after that.
No.
Next time on Nani Talks.
We have projected the anime means big eyes and spiky hair and girls in sailor outfits and school uniforms and like that's our perception of them. So they can't gatekeep animation.
Do you know what it is? I'm just a true Naruto fan. Because I had faith in Naruto.
Gosh.
Yeah, the rest of you lot all looking at him, man. I knew he was going to be Hokage. Yeah.
Okay, another one for Slick, easy.
Better believe it.
So Wes and Tim, definitely want to get to know more about the projects that the Lions got coming out. You mentioned Grand Piton. I don't know if let me just backtrack that. Tim and Wes. Sorry guys. Tim and Wes.
Yes, Slick.
Hey, he wants the bloopers.
Do you know what it was for me?
He wants the bloopers.
I get that. It was Slick's ironic, right?
Man looked into his eyes and was like,
Not
yes,
even,
Slick.
not even girls, man. I'll give you that. These men ain't even been able to roast me like that. These men ain't even been able to get me like that. I just don't give a fuck.
Cool. Right.
Nah, I'm still thinking what just happened.
Go on.